Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Good afternoon.
I'm just making Carrie the host.
Thank you.
Elsa, where are you?
I'm based out of Mumbai, India.
Oh my gosh, it is evening.
It is almost midnight.
Bless your heart for being here and helping us.
No worries. So maybe, yeah, I guess okay, so maybe you might want to rename yourself, especially Alhambra Rotary, because everybody has their district numbers against their name. If you tell me, I can add it to your name as well. Just put it in the chat section or let me know and I can rename you. Great. So Carrie, you have co-host access. Yes, that's great.
Perfect. Can you see my?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. How many do we have on right now?
So right now we have 8 people other than me. So there's no point making a breakout room at this point, right? Because we are less than 10.
Yes. Okay, well, let's get started. So this session is what creative awards and recognition programs exist to encourage Interact members. So I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Kari Hoffman. I am a Rotarian from the Bullhead City, Arizona, District 5495. I have actually been the Interact advisor for our local high school for the last 17 years. So Art Harrington asked if I would lead this session because we have a very large club and we have had to be fairly creative in keeping our members active and receptive to participating, etc. So to get started, we can go through and talk about what everyone else is doing, and then I can share with you what our club has done in the past. So, Mike, do you want to start?
Sure. Mike Darnold, San Juan Capistrano, California Rotary Club, District 5320. We have 75 members in our Rotary Club. I have been doing the youth services. I'm 78 for crying out loud. You know, somebody else should be doing this, but I really have fun. We have 2 public high schools and 1 private school Interact. J. Sarah Catholic High School is about 35 members in the Interact Club, and it's very elite because, which I didn't intend, there's they only allow student athletes with a 4.0 GPA or above to be in the club, and that wasn't my idea. It adds a different, very unique perspective to it. Private schools are a little different. My 2 public schools, there's 50 and 60 members in each one. The one school is upper income, and the second school is about 50% English language learners, and a lot of fun, a lot of avid kids. And I've been doing this for about 35 years.
And what do your clubs do for recognition?
Recognition, what I do is I have the student advisory board, or their board, as it were. They select, I give them criteria for selecting student of the month out of their whole student body. I give them
Also
other,
not just club members.
no, and then teacher of the month. And then at the end of the year, our Rotary Club has had an opportunity to meet these kids because they come to our meetings often. And we have a student that is the most motivational. We have leadership 1, 2, and 3 awards, and then scholarships as well. But I'm here to find out what you guys are doing.
Okay. Well, let me start. I'll share what our club does. So after every event that we do, whether it's a service project or a social event, we actually have paper plate awards, and they are very creative with their paper plate awards. So for instance, if we were cooking corn at Corn Fest, you know, it might be the fastest cob shucker, or it might have been the most entertaining, you know, corn cooker award. And the paper plate, they're actually made on paper plates. The kids draw on them, create a little picture. And then at our club meeting each week, the paper plate awards are given to those individuals that participated in the event that stood out and made a difference. We usually do at least 3 or 4 paper plate awards per event. And so there's some immediate recognition to the interactors for their involvement within the program. And then the biggest thing we have is a point system. And Art wanted me to share this with everyone. You get 1 point for every hour of service that you're doing. So if you're at an event and the event is 3 hours long, you'd get 3 points. With the point system, we have some activities that are limited in the number of interactors that can go. Our club has up to 200 interactors in it. So sometimes we have to be picky on who gets to do what. And so we'll use the point system to award those that have been participating the most, to say you have to have at least 30 points or above in order to even try to go to this event. With our big events where we need 50 plus interactors at the event for long periods of time, maybe 12 hours, 10-hour shifts, we will give time and a half. So if they're there from the very beginning to the very end, they get 1.5 points for each hour of service. So it gives them incentive to stay and not just show up for an hour and then leave. And then in order to be an officer in our club, you have to have a minimum 75 points in order to run. And seniors, in order to get the Interact Rotary stole to wear at graduation, they have to have a minimum 75 points. So it gives incentive for kids, and they get a point for every meeting that they attend. So that way there's incentive for them to come to the meetings. And sometimes if we're collecting items, let's say bathroom supplies for the homeless, they'll be given 1 point for every 5 items that they bring in, things like that. So that's what our club has been so known for over the years. We've been doing the point system for the last 12 years, and it's worked very successfully. So Wesley, let's hear what your club's doing.
Kind of here to hear all your ideas.
Actually, I came to hear all your ideas. I have not been involved in Interact very often. I'm doing this on a geographic district area, so I'm just gleaming and harvesting all of your ideas. So I apologize for not contributing.
Wesley Morris?
I was going to say what the other Wes said. Like, I'm kind of here more for you guys because I'm weak on this one. Probably the main recognition we do is just a senior scholarship. We give out 3 senior scholarships, and then to a certain extent the RILA attendees. but a lot of years my RILA attendees are just whoever I can find, less than having a bunch of kids beating down my door to go to RILA. So, this is definitely something I'm a little weak in. I did like the idea of having school-wide awards that are known for your club. I thought that was really, really good.
Yeah, we our club also does a Interactor of the Month award, and their picture is put up on the wall, on our Interact wall. And it states what they did to earn the Interactor of the Month. So it gives them the incentive to try to win that award as well. Mike.
Well, first of all, you got 2 Mikes and 2 Wesley, so good
Oh.
luck with that. But anyway, one of the things I've advocated is for the Interact clubs to try and get the Rotary citation. I'm guessing that you guys have a closet full of those for your club, your high school club. But I find that really pays dividends with both the faculty advisors and the school administrations for receiving recognition from an international organization. Even though some Rotary clubs don't seem all that interested in Rotary citation, we don't do things just for the award. I think if you're doing the good stuff, might as well get the award. And I always try to do is make sure that I go and buy a frame instead of just handing a piece of paper to them, and try to be have a little bit of pomp and circumstance with maybe even the district governor there. And I think it makes a big difference in the big picture for the Interact clubs.
Yeah, our club does a minimum of three activities a month. Sometimes it's 5 or 6 a month. And there's no reason why our club should not have the citation award. It's getting the kids to apply for it and put in for it.
Well,
That
actually,
usually falls back.
your Rotarian is the one that's supposed to apply for it for you. It's in their court to apply for the Rotary citation for the Interact club.
Well, that would have been me.
Oh, okay. So you're wearing a couple of hats here.
Yeah, I'm the
okay.
Rotarian Interact advisor.
Oh, okay.
We have
I
a
thought you
faculty advisor as well.
Oh, I from your slide, I thought you were the faculty advisor.
No.
Okay. Well, it's up to you to fill in, try to, wade your way through the RI website and apply for it. So it sounds to me like, they ought to give you 2 or 3 of them every year from all you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's the important thing, doing the good stuff, like I said, but it just, and I would guess that I don't know if we have any faculty advisors in this group, but it just seems to be, and you'd let them put it in their office, nicely framed. And anyway, repeating myself.
Who wants to go next? Ryan, Elizabeth?
So real quick, Mike, here's a link in the chat. Is this how the Rotary citation works? Can you take a quick look at that, where you got to do those goals? Because I can see that being pretty powerful.
Yeah, there's like 5 or 6 things to accomplish. And I think the deadline was in August. Well, it's for the previous year, of course. But I think as long as you have the criteria in hand at the beginning of the year, it should be doable. I don't think there's anything too exotic. Although I will say this, it's getting more and more difficult every year. Well, it's more challenging every year. They're making it more criteria, and but that's okay. That's what makes it a horse race.
And so, Mike, how do your clubs handle the fact that by time you've applied and you're going to get awarded, like the seniors have moved on and you're pretty much moving into a new school year? How do you guys, does that seem to be an issue, or?
No, not really, because unless everyone in your club is a senior, that really isn't a problem. And I think, Wesley, you were in the last session where someone had suggested, in May, have some type of a district award that's, I guess, kind of a Rotary citation light, and that way there's the immediacy of giving it to that current group of officers. And I haven't seen it be a problem, quite frankly. Like I said, unless you've got a huge batch of seniors and nobody else in the club.
Well, I do like the idea where you can basically meet all your goals and know that you've completed them, and you'll, get the official citation for next year. But,
Right.
you could do that district recognition before the seniors take off.
Right. Wesley, did I hear you say that you're a faculty advisor, a high school teacher?
Me? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm both.
Well, I mean, then it would seem to me that that's a nice way to thank a faculty advisor by providing you with the award to put in your office, because you may have so many awards in your office you may not notice, for all I know, but you certainly seem to know a lot about computers.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, I'm the Rotarian in our club in charge of youth, and then I'm also a faculty.
Ah,
I do both.
so it's you that wears the two hats, not Kari. Okay. Well, that's great.
No, I wear multiple hats as well.
Ah, okay.
Both have multiple hats.
Ah,
Yeah. Who else?
Kari, I actually have a question for you about how many students are in your high school that you have 200 members in your Interact Club? Like,
The current amount of students is right around 800.
wow, and you have 200 members? That's not a very big school to have 200 members in your club. That's great.
Yeah, it's been a long time in growing, but we are the club on campus that everyone wants to be a part of.
That's awesome. So what's the Interact wall? You said it goes on the Interact wall and that kind of stuff. Like,
So we have a wall outside the classroom where we hold our meetings. That it's essentially a large bulletin board wall where we put up notices on upcoming events, have the calendar for the month there. We'll have the sign-up sheets there so that if someone hasn't attended a meeting, they can still sign up for events to work them. We have our Interact Student of the Month posted there. And then we also use Remind app.
yeah.
I don't know if any of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at the end of every meeting, the faculty advisor will post to the Remind app a summary of what was discussed in the meeting, or, like, we have this event coming up, be sure you sign up by Wednesday, things like that.
So how did you guys become you've been the advisor there for 17 years? Were you the charter advisor?
No,
Oh.
no, that club has been in existence for 35 years.
So, okay, well then I don't feel so bad, because how did they manage to survive and grow it to 200? There's another service club on campus, and they seem to be the popular one, but all they don't do any leadership stuff. They basically just volunteer, and so every week they go to a meeting and then they get volunteer opportunities, and it's that kind of thing. Where our club, I actually have the students do, run their own club, do the leadership, develop their fundraisers, all that. So really, aside from this recognition program, what do you think? How did you guys get to that point, like survive for all these years?
So before I took over, they only had about 20, 25 members in the club consistently. And we just started doing, putting more fun, let's put it that way, into our activities. So even highway cleanups, we have contests, largest item, most romantic item, the most unique item that they find, along the highway, things like that. And we'll have paper plate awards and award them at the, meeting for, whatever. And whoever's at the highway cleanup votes. So the different teams present their items, and then everyone votes there as to which item was, the winner. So one year I found a love letter. that two homeless people had written one another.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, so the winners, do they get anything? Like, is there, or is it just a
Sometimes.
accomplishment?
So we've had or businesses in town donate gift cards like
Yeah.
to Baskin Robbins, Pizza Hut, things like that, that sometimes we'll give out to the interactors of the month. But usually for paper plate awards, no, they just get the paper plate. It's a prestige thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
And it's inexpensive. I mean, at the beginning of the year, we buy one big package of paper plates from Costco, and we're set for the
I
school
like it.
year.
I like it. Yeah, we do the gift card thing, but it usually is arbitrary, or I give it to like they decide who's done what or something like that. But personal actual recognition, we don't really do that very much. It's more at the district level. Our, Interact clubs apply, and the presidential citation, we do that kind of stuff. So I love what you do. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. Well, Art always has done a leadership retreat for our officers. And I think that really helped build our club and the prestige of it, because our officers are required to be at the events and lead by example. And Art really stresses recognizing volunteers for showing up. And so that's what we kind of spurred on. And over the years, we developed, the paper plate awards and the interactor of the month, things like that.
So how are you handling COVID? Like, now what? Are you guys in school, like in California?
Actually, yeah, they just went back into in-person school on last Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been doing Zoom Rotary meetings. They had 45 on the first meeting. And we get the biggest bang for our buck recruiting at registration. We have always set up a table at the registration times where we hand out flyers about when our first meeting is, etc. And this year, of course, there was no in-person registration. So we really have been struggling because we don't have the same means to get those freshmen.
Right. Well, now the schools here, you can't even do any extracurricular stuff. It's not allowed at all because of all the pandemic guidelines, so
right.
They can't do any kind of in-person volunteering. They can do it as a community member, but not as any kind of with the school.
And we've had that same situation this year. I mean, this year, of course, and we lost some of our largest fundraisers at the end of last school year.
Yeah.
We sell leis to the seniors each year as a fundraiser, and we have senior flowers. So we lost both of those.
Yeah.
Mike, you have your hand up.
Thank you. When you brought up COVID, I have a unique program that I started with, if anybody's interested. It's giving kids credit for hours they spent helping their parents. And we started on our Zoom. We had a joint, all the leaders in my 3 Interact clubs got together after the first week of school, the first semester, on Zoom. And they all expressed the same dissatisfaction and angst and everything else. And I said, well, let's start something. I want each of you to figure out what you can do at home to help your mom or your dad on any projects that they want to do, or any daily activities like making dinner, cleaning up the house, taking care of the siblings, etc. And it became really, really, especially with the Hispanic kids, it became a very, very cool way of them saying, yeah, I do this all the time. And now we're getting credit for it. So I thought it was cool. And we did give awards to those kids in the first semester that have accomplished the most.
Great idea. Great idea. Yeah, we had a hard time just doing elections at the end of last school year because everything was shut down.
if I may, while y'all were talking, I was just thinking, my Rotary Club, San Juan Capistrano, is a big club. It's 75 members, big by our definition down here. And once a year, the first week in June, before kids after school and before kids leave on vacation, we have an annual Interact banquet. And our Rotary Club in the summertime meets at the Rotary Club Scout Hut. It's an outdoor venue. And we can facilitate about 100 kids and their parents. And that's the awards night where we hand out our awards to everybody and recognize this year's board members and then next year's leaders and board members. And it's always really fun. The side note, Rotarians, is a lot of the parents that come do become Rotarians.
Yeah, what we found was trying to get parents involved was a key, because if the parents don't understand what the kids' goals and missions are to come out every weekend for a different project, they're like, you went and did something with Interact last weekend, so you don't get to go this weekend. You're going to clean your room or whatever. So we have a Project I event that we do at the beginning of every year, where we invite the parents and we the officers give a dog and pony show of essentially the different activities and events that we do throughout the year. And I always encourage parents to come out and join us. In my 17 years, I've had at the most 2 parents during the year that will show up and help with something. Yeah. Which has made it very stressful, because, you know, when you have that many events and you just have one faculty advisor and myself, you know, it puts a lot of demand on us. So my family life was just going to Interact functions every weekend.
That's cool.
And it was fine when my kids were in school, because at least it gave me something to do with them. But I haven't had kids in school since 2012. So
So if we're
Who
supposed to go, I was going to say, there's in the last session I was in, they were asking what kind of projects, not during COVID, but what kind of projects do we get our club kids involved with? We do a car show every year. We raise about $35,000. Rotarians didn't understand how we could get kids involved. The kids take tickets. The kids hand out and sell T-shirts. They work the dog events. They are tour guides. That Thanksgiving food drive, they're at every one of our local markets next to Rotarians, and trust me, the kids bring in the stuff. And then the Christmas for kids in our community. For the less fortunate kids, we give away 2,000 gifts to Santa. I mean, from Santa to the kids. And while the kids are waiting in line, our kids do face painting and cookie decorating and keep them occupied for the entire time. We also do the Swallows Day Parade, and we do a breakfast. Our club has done a breakfast for 40 years, and the kids do all the service and all the cleanup, and it gets them involved with people in the community.
yeah, I think that's key, Mike, is getting the Interact and the Rotary clubs working in tandem together. Before I took over as Interact advisor, the Interact club had been functioning for 15 years on its own, with really no Rotarians being involved. And so when I started as the Interact advisor, I became that link, and then started inviting the Interact kids to work at our Rotary functions. And it got to the point where our Interact kids are the only reason why our events happen, because we only have 30 Rotarians in our club now, but I have, usually 100 kids I can draw on to show up at an event to work it. So our kids do cooking, cleanup, setup, tear down. They do everything at our major fundraising events. What are some of the other events that clubs are doing? that Interact's involved with? Anyone?
I run the highway cleanups for our club, so I'm giggling at your paper plate awards for most of whatever, or most unique item. Another thing I do is I set up ahead of time. Are we going to split any money we find, or are we going to set a cap? And so far, I think I'm the only one that's actually found money. I finally found a like $5 bill or a $1 bill. We try to help the Rotarians out with any projects they have going on as much as possible. You know, if they have an event going on that we can have interactors there to help with, like our health fair, we try to get them there for that. And so, you know, we try to get them to do as much as we can. It's just sometimes it's hit and miss on our kids because there's just so much going on. We're not a very big town or school, so there's lots of different things competing for their time and attention.
Yeah, I think over my 17 years, that's been the biggest challenge, because initially there weren't as many activities or events or other clubs. And now there's so many clubs in our school that people are torn between having to go do something with NHS versus Interact.
Band, what else? Sports. I mean, there's just all sorts of things going on all the time. It's just, you know, you've got a school of 1,000 kids. It's hard to get them all there.
Yeah.
Carrie,
Totally agree.
one of the things we did in 5500 is we organized Rotary clubs purchasing Interact protective masks for the Interact clubs to distribute at their schools. Can I share a picture of it, how it looks?
Sure. I love that.
Oh, I'm disabled.
Hold on. Oh, I don't know how to do that. That would be the tech person that would have to do that.
You might be able to, on your share screen button there, Carrie, there should be a little caret, and you might be able to enable others to share.
Mm.
Is there anything about to say security on yours, Carrie? Is there a security button?
No.
For,
Hmm. Share.
no, that's go down to your Zoom controls. You're on your slideshow. You don't want to be there. You have to go down the bottom of your Zoom screen, and then it should say participants, chat, share screen, record reactions.
Yeah, that's at the top.
Okay, then at the top, the share screen should have a little caret that gives you another menu. Click that little caret and look at that
Okay.
menu.
Oh, and then invite.
I don't know. I can't see it.
Oh, yeah, no.
If it doesn't say allow others to share or something like that, then it may be locked out.
What exactly are you planning to do?
Mike from District 5500 wants to share something on his screen.
Okay, I'll make him the co-host.
There it is.
Oh, that's a nice mask.
Yeah, we had one of the district Rotarians did it for us at cost, of course, and we ordered over 1,500 masks for the clubs to distribute. Because not all high school kids, you guys know, maybe they can't afford masks or don't have them available. So it was a lot of fun driving all over Southern Arizona, dropping them off.
Very nice.
You have the ability to show it again if you wish. You can share your screen. Mike,
she just
I
made
hear
you she just made it so that you could share your screen if you want.
Well, I think what I did worked, right? I just showed you a picture on my phone.
Okay.
So I closed it out, and it wouldn't be any different, I don't think, from what I just showed you.
Got it.
But, you know,
Okay.
obviously with the Rotary colors and actually what was really pretty cool is it was a faculty advisor that first suggested that as a project for her club. And we took it and ran, and one of the district governors said, hey, put Rotary on the mask. And she said, why not put Interact? So that's how we ended up with the Interact logo on there.
Very good.
The only thing, I think I mentioned in a previous session, it's clear to me that maintaining an Interact club, operating and maintaining is more difficult than a Rotary club, because you got more movable parts with the faculty advisor and the administration, and your members graduate. We
Right.
have people come and go in Rotary clubs, but you don't have that built-in, turnover, and so it's just more difficult. And so it says a lot about you all for doing that, wearing both hats. You get
Yeah.
it.
I'll tell you, one of the key factors that helped us, we require that our club president be a prior board member, Interact board member. So it can never, it has to be an underclassman that, was on the board prior. Because we had 1 year where we had all seniors, all 7 of our officers were seniors, and we lost all leadership. And we realized that we couldn't have that ever happen again. So we always make sure that we, push the RILA kids to go be involved with, and usually when they come back from RILA, they want to then be an officer in our club. And because of our officers retreat that we have every summer, it's a prestigious thing to be able to go away for a weekend, with your friends and learn about leadership skills as well as have fun.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So.
Terry, I've got, I don't have the link, but I have a PDF of the Rotary citation for 2019-20. Is there any way I know I can share and show it. Is there any way I can, on the chat, put a PDF, or does that not work?
That would be a tech question.
If you have a PDF hosted somewhere, you could post a link to the PDF there. Yeah, sharing your screen might be the best bet. We could just
And
kind of see it.
I think you can also upload it to the chat, but if not, then maybe paste it as a Google Drive link.
Oh, I see. They altered it for the pandemic. Nice.
And I just Google, you can just Google the Rotary citation for Interact clubs. Find that pretty quickly, I'd assume, on the RI site, as opposed to actually trying to wade through the RI site.
Yeah.
And I guess I haven't seen the new one. Maybe, I don't know if I'm sure they're figuring what they're trying to do here, but I think that the idea was there was less, you had less numbers of the goals to achieve to get the award, because it just was so difficult.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I don't know Wes, if this is helpful at all or not, but
yeah, I like that idea. Kind of using that citation as a way to kind of have goals for the year. It's a good idea.
Yeah, our officers set goals during their retreat for all of the events. They have set goals for how many members they want in the club. They set goals for participation, how much they're going to fundraise, like for in polio, they set a goal for, how much they're planning on raising, and then they'll have how many different events they're going to have, so that they are setting goals for the year to try to achieve, and then work obviously at officer meetings, evaluating where we stand on those goals and what we need to hit them.
Kari, you mentioned the officer retreat. I seem to recall that you and your district have like a district retreat for incoming officers. Are you referring to your own retreat?
No, we've always done our own retreat. Art would join us for 3 days and lead it.
Wow.
It helped having Art Harrington in our club.
Yeah. The plot thickens.
He lived in Bullhead before he lived in Prescott, but even in Prescott, he still comes and does our retreats if we want him to. But we usually will go away somewhere for 3 days, either the Wallapies or we've gone up to Utah. We usually will go camping so that the kids have zero ability to have internet connection.
I attended your Interact conference last year, along with some of our officers. And my understanding, you have a virtual RILA next weekend?
Yes, yes. And it's free, so our club is sending as many kids to it as are willing to go, which is great.
Mhm.
Because we usually send 15 kids to RILA every year. And so this way we can actually have more participate. Wesley, you mentioned you have a hard time getting kids to even apply to go to RILA or be interested in it. We start talking about RILA right at the beginning of the school year at all of our meetings, and we have kids that have gone to RILA do a presentation on, what they did, what they learned, things like that. And usually we'll have one talk at each of the meetings, giving their perspective of how it affected them. And we have to do interviews to weed down who we send to RILA.
Yeah, I do the same thing. It's still just, it's tough to get kids that aren't doing other things that weekend, and it's just tough for us. But I mean, I always get somebody to go, so it just varies.
Yeah. Well, our club pays for 10 spots, and then we send alternates, which usually the last few years we've had 5 picked up that, were kids that backed out, or clubs that didn't have enough spots filled that picked up some of our kids.
We do the same.
So, all right, it is 12 o'clock. Yes.
So Carrie, I noticed you have a Hawaiian flag behind you. Are you a child
do.
Hawaiian selling leis in your high school?
We have been, that's one of our fundraisers, is selling leis. But I actually have moved over to Hawaii now. So
You're here?
yes, I am.
Okay.
I am here right now. I'm on the Big Island.
Okay, great.
So, yep. I'll be here full time. I've been going back and forth because I'm wrapping up my job, but I'll be here full time starting January.
Well, we'll be in touch.
Yeah. Where are you?
I'm on Oahu. I'm the central Oahu assistant governor. So I'm trying to get some traction on our clubs.
Very good.
It sounds to me, Wes, like you got the pro from Dover moving there.
Exactly.
If any of you got out of this, that's it. She's moving there. Why don't you move to Tucson? Help us.
My son went to U of A. That's as close as I get.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, it's been great. I hope you all got something good out of this session. And certainly if you need any help, Art Harrington is absolutely the best person to reach out to. And he can connect you with appropriate individuals that will help you in whatever area that you need help in. So, all right.
Thanks
Very
a lot.
good.
Thank you, guys. Great job.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Kari.
Yep.
Wesley Morris, thanks for your help.
Here, everybody.
Things. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. All right. You all take care.
Bye. Thank you.
Mahalo.